Greetings everyone, Yannatoko here, and welcome back to, just kidding, this isn't a Let's Play, what the heck? Welcome to, this is what I think of the Super Mario Bros. Movie, not the Super Mario Bros. Film from 1993, this is the one 20 years later. It just came out, literally today, 5th of April 2023, just came out, right? And I thought it came out on the 7th of April in the UK. Sort of the 5th of April in America. They released it 2 days early for some reason. Well, not really 2 days early, just 2 days earlier. But no, 5th of April here, where I am. So I watched it. And what did I think? That's the question, isn't it? That's what you were wondering. What did Yannatoko think of the Super Mario Bros. Film? The movie, you know, the new one. The animated one. Well, it's okay, if you want to know the truth. It's okay. I mean, I love Nintendo, of course, right? Did you know that? I love Super Mario RPG. That's a great game. But, okay. So, it's okay. If I get the feeling it's designed to appeal to people who didn't really play the games, who just kind of know, oh, you know, Mario jumps around, there's Blue Shell, there's Mario Kart, you know, and so it's all the iconic stuff. As a fun, family-friendly picture, an hour and a half, it's a laugh, there's the slogan right there, so it's a nice little film. I mean, it was nothing groundbreaking or brilliant, obviously, it's just a bit of fun, but the thing is, what did I think of it as someone who loves the games, right? Well, there's a lot of things I could say. Okay, so basically what I did was I was watching it and I kept just thinking, oh, there's all these little bits that just aren't quite right, okay? I mean, I liked it. I didn't like it as much as the second Sonic film, and which I've watched watched that back in the day when it came out, well, last year, and I watched it again like a few days ago, just almost to prepare myself or something. It was better than the first one, though. My God, it was better. The first Sonic film, you know, and not the OVA animated one. I'm talking about the 2020 one. Well, that wasn't very good, was it? But the second one, well, I like it. It's all right because it's more Sonic-y with Tails and Knuckles. Hang on, I'm talking about the Super Mario Bros. Film. Okay, sorry. So it's better than the first one, but not the second one. Okay, in terms of Sonic, and it's way better than the 1993 film. To say that, so it's a nice little film. I've got to stop doing that thing where I go like that. Okay, so I've just got this list of things I've written that I'm just going to sort of go through. Okay, because there's so many little things I was trying to think about. So firstly, I mean, okay, list of sort of Easter eggs and things. That's what the film is kind of about. It's just got loads of little Easter eggs and hidden details. I mean, the GameCube ringtone, that was the best bit, okay? When the little phone was ringing and it was the... Okay, I'm not going to sing it, but you know, the GameCube intro. It was that. That's the best bit. Quite clearly. There was a bit where there was a shop or something and it had Punch Out on the window. That was quite nice. Nice little reference. There was a bit where Mario and Luigi were going down into like the underground and it said level 1-2 or 1-2. I always just say 1-2, like 1-1, 1-2, 1-3. And it had a little da-da-da-da-da and the music. That was nice. That was a nice little bit. There was a little Wrecking Crew reference. Kid Icarus was in it. Literally just Kid Icarus with the music and the man who died playing it on the NES. It's very orientated towards like Western audiences, I guess, because it's the NES rather than Famicom or whatever, you know. I mean, obviously, Mario's not even... I would have made this film and had Mario voiced by Charles Martinet, obviously. I mean, he would have voiced the main two characters. But, yes, that's what I would have done. It's very odd why they've done it like this, but okay... Dixie and Kiddy Kong were in it, if you wanted to know. They were in the bit where he was fighting DK. Dixie and Kiddy were there. That was nice. Diddy was there too, but he had an awful voice actor. Well, no, okay, not the actor, but the voice. None of the voices really fit the characters. That's like this number one thing that's just bizarre about it. It almost doesn't feel like an official thing. Like, it doesn't feel like one of the main games, you know? I mean, I know it's a film, but it's just... It's not like the games are pretty consistent. I mean, come on, like Super Mario Galaxy, 64, Sunshine, Galaxy 2, Odyssey, even 3D World, which isn't as good, and it's the Wii U one. They're all great games. But this film is not like the film, it's like the film equivalent, but it's obviously, since you're not playing it, it can only be as much fun as watching someone else play a game at its best. And it doesn't really have any depth beyond that. There was a guy called Spike in it, and I was thinking, nice name, obviously a reference to Spike, like the enemy, but if they ever do a sequel to this, which I don't see how they could, because it doesn't really inflame the imagination with so many other wonders out there, if they put in an enemy called Spike, it'll be like, well, what about the guy who was bullying Mario in the first film? Now they've got a character called Spike and the enemy Spike. How confusing. So anyway, yes, it started off in sort of Brooklyn for a while, just to sort of go into the film. You know what? It was all sort of like Super Mario Odyssey, going around Brooklyn, like New Donk City. But you know, in that game, it's full of people, and Mario, he looks totally different. He's not a human. He's not a human being, because he looks completely different, right? And yet in this film, he is, because everyone just looks like him. And so it's kind of odd. Like, you can't fit this into the canonicity, the continuity of the Mario series. You know, it doesn't work. I mean, it's lighthearted and fun, so that sort of, it gets away with everything for that. But yes, it doesn't really fit in any way with any of the games, really. I mean, they mention it's in the Mushroom Kingdom. Eventually, they spend a bit too long in Brooklyn, I think. Almost like the old animated episodes, you know, where it's like that. And then they get to the Mushroom Kingdom, and it's all right. But, well, it's okay. It basically just looks like the theme park is the thing. It doesn't feel like you're really anywhere, or there's no real strong impression. It just seems like you're wandering around a theme park like it's an advert, you know, when they're riding in the carts. It just feels like it's just trying to sell you the games, which I guess it is, kind of. But you need something beyond that, and it doesn't really have anything. And so, you know, but it's just not very good. And then there's platforms moving. I mean, the music is nice. But, okay, here's the problem, and the thing is, right, Shigeru Miyamoto, obviously wonderful guy, right, the best there ever was, but not very good when it comes to stories, is he? No. Just look at Paper Mario Sticker Star. Have I said that enough? God, that's a bad game. The worst there ever was. And so, so you've got the best there ever was, the worst. You've got Miyamoto and story. They don't go together very well. And what does he love? What's the one thing Miyamoto loves? What does he just adore? That's right, toads. He loves them, can't get enough. Toads, multicoloured toads. And I'm not talking about the frogs, like sort of Ribbit. I'm talking about, Mario, those ones. The toads that, sorry, I'm not going to do that again. I do apologise. But the little toads that blimp and blump around and have little bouncy heads, fun guys. They're pretty fun guys. At least they can be for about 4 milliseconds. But it's full of them. Full of them. Take it over. The Mushroom Kingdom, I get it. It's going to be toads. You're going to have toads. But no piantas. Oh, I guess they're from Isle Delfino. No bumblebees from, like, Honey Hive Galaxy. No Chancellor Toad from Super Mario RPG. None of, like, the bandaged up ones. None of the Toad sisters, like in Thousand Year Door, like Rusty or Zesty from Rogueport. This is Miyamoto's wet dream come true. That's what it was. That's what it's like. Because it's just toads everywhere. It's like the Paper Mario series. That's the thing. It's just like, well, we can't introduce new characters. Sorry, I'm getting a bit worked up here. But it's just toads. And I love toads as much as the next man, okay? But there's only so many notes or so many toads one can see in the course of an evening, as Emperor Joseph II almost said to Mozart. And so it doesn't really work, okay? Where are the characters? Where's the variety? It's just the most iconic stuff. Oh, there's a Luma. There's a Luma in a cage, isn't there? It's in a cage. It can just break out. Well, whatever. Stupid voice, but it's fun. Actually, the Luma was one of the best bits. A little sort of light blue Luma, you know, the Bowser somehow kidnapped. I mean, that's the one thing that gives the impression the universe is more vast than what we see here. It just kind of comes across like a tour guide of all the stuff, you know. There's a nice bit where Mario and Peach are sort of standing in a field and they mention, the vast universe and the galaxies. And then, you know what should have been great is the music should have gone, da, 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 da. That would have been lovely, but it didn't. It didn't do that. Anyway, it's almost like they couldn't use that music. The flipping Gusty Garden Galaxy theme played in the credits, and it's like, wow! And then it didn't go, da, 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 da. That's what I was waiting for. You know, it does that in the original theme, like the credits in Super Mario Galaxy. No. Anyway, so the Luma was fun, though. It was because it was all sort of, it was the one character that wasn't just like constantly positive or whatever. It had some sense of, it was sort of an attempt at opposites of dark humour. Well, if you can even call it that, but it was quite fun. I like the Luma. But there you go. The rest of it was all just sort of fun and lighthearted. It's all in the Mushroom Kingdom for a while after that, and then Peach mentions the Jungle Kingdom. Never mind DK Island, I guess. Just the Jungle Kingdom. Okay. And you sort of think, oh, are there other kingdoms? Do we get to see like the lava kingdom? And they do, when they're journeying there, they go through other places, right? Like we see a cliff world. Well, they go through a jungle and there's a Yoshi's and you think, oh, Yoshi's Island. Although, where was the music? Seriously, I would have put so many more little musical references in. Did it go da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da from Yoshi's Story? No, or whatever. I mean, that was just put into Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Yoshi's Island course. It was nice to see the Yoshis though. And then they're in the cliff world and you think, okay, world 6, right? Cliffs is world 6. And then they're in DK, Jungle Kingdom. That's world 5 though, that's world 5. Everyone knows, grass world first, then you have a desert. You always have a desert for world 2, that's just how it works. That's the law. Kirby's Epic Yarn, Banjo, Tooie, or Donkey Kong 64, I don't know, loads of games do that. And then, Paper Mario, anyway, and then you have, sort of ice world, then the water world, jungle, cliffs, sky, sort of castle lava. That's how it works. Volcano, maybe. That's how it works. Those are the 8 worlds. So going from the cliffs to Jungle Kingdom is like going from 6 back to 5. And I know, look, this is just me as a fan complaining. I've said, if you don't really know the games, you don't play the games, you just want a fun little Mario-y film, it's okay. But come on, where's the fan service? Where's Dementio? Where's Count Black? Where's Forful? That's what I mean. It's just the iconic stuff. I'm kidding. I don't really care about that. For the first film, Mario versus Bowser, it's like Paper Mario 1. Except not, because that had way more stuff. Anyway, look, I enjoyed it. I'll tell you what I didn't enjoy, though. Should we just continue with the insults? Okay. How about, critique. This is critique of the highest order. Okay, so here's something. Take a gander. Well, okay. There were lots of bits, basically, where it just, faded to black. It didn't fade to black. It just cuts. There's a bit with the moray, the eel. Moray, as it should be called. Well, sometimes. It goes to eat Mario and Donkey Kong, and it, the mouth slaps and it goes to black. It goes and it's black, right? And other bits like that, they slam the door. The dog early on slams the door in the camera and it goes black. And you just think, they do that 4 times. And I guess they just like it being a nice dramatic thing. It's all fast-paced. But I just got the impression it's like they don't have the budget to animate. Because it just has so many bits where it just goes black. And it goes into slow motion. Sort of funny maybe once or twice. But they do it 4 times. It faded to white once though. That was a change. So anyway, here's the thing. It was Mario and Peach going together. Now, excuse me, it's Mario and Luigi. It's the Super Mario Bros. Film, isn't it? Where's Luigi? Oh, he's in a cage. He sort of goes through a forest, and it's like the opening to Luigi's mansion, because he's in the forest, sort of shining the torch. There's bats flying out, they're just called bats. That's great. Not keys or anything, but yes. He's sort of going through the forest. He ends up getting captured and going into a sort of, in a cage. And then he's sort of stuck in it for half the film, at least. Well, I don't know about that, but he's stuck in it for quite a while. And it's Mario and Peach going to rescue him. And you just think, well, it should be Mario and Luigi going to rescue Peach. That's the obvious thing. I mean, I guess it isn't, because Bowser wants to marry her, which is at least quite nice, referencing Super Paper Mario. Or just taken from Super Mario Odyssey. Okay. But anyway, fine, don't reference Paper Mario, fine. But anyway, so it wouldn't be Peach, because otherwise Bowser would want to marry her. That's his entire modus operandi. That's all he wants to do. But, okay, whatever. So, I guess it's they want a strong role model for girls or something. Seriously, why is it Peach? I just think if you're going to do it based on the games, obviously Peach is the one who's kidnapped. She's the one who gets kidnapped. There was a nice bit where Mario's talking to a toad and he says oh, the princess is in another castle, and it's But that's the thing, it's just references for the fans. But it's stupid, it doesn't make any sense. If you didn't get the reference, then it's just why is he even saying that? Mario's not even met Peach. The toad is the one taking Mario in, and then he just distracts him with some food, and it's just it doesn't make any sense. Why do all the Toad's voices they're so low pitched? It's like Toad. You know what Toad is supposed to sound like? He's supposed to be well, okay, I'm not going to do the impression, but he's supposed to be shrieking and squawking like, Mario! Okay, sorry, I did it. But the point is, he's supposed to sound high pitched and panicky all the time. That's what Toad is like. But in this film, genuinely, there's a bit, I think it was the blue Toad, from the games, of course. Blue Toad always had like the glasses and stuff, you know, Super Mario Sunshine even. But his voice is so low pitched, it's like, Mario, the dark hour is coming. Well, okay, something like that. And it's just like, excuse me, it was laughable. I was laughing because, no, but come on, that is not what Toads are supposed to be like. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, so, you know. Oh, and the main Toad, I mean, it's like the Bob-omb in Paper Mario the Origami King. You know, the Bob-omb just called like, he's literally, there's a bit, even in the trailer of the game, there's a Bob-omb party member, and he just says, hi, I'm Bob-omb, or whatever. Well done, creative overload. I mean, come on. What about Bobbery? That's what I want. Where's flipping Vivian gone? Where's what? You know? Where's Sushi? There's just none of that. But okay, you just have to accept this is going to be a one-off, non-creative sort of film. Anyway, but you know, the Toad party member is just called Toad. He's just a red and white one. He's obviously annoying, even without the voice, which is almost impressive. But okay, there you go. So I'll put up with him. Donkey Kong was okay. I mean, you know, he landed and the DK rap started playing, and I thought, wow, the DK rap, and then that was it. They all just go like DK, Donkey Kong, and that's it. Hello, where's the rest of the rap? You know, he's finally back to kick some tail. Where's it gone? It's just gone. There's no rap. There's nothing. Hardly a meal for anyone. You know, that was trying to be a pun. Never mind that. But anyway, it's not very good. I mean, I loved it, and then it took it away from me. It snatched it. It gave me hope, and then it ripped it out of me. So, oh well, like a stuck record. DK, Donkey Kong. I mean, come on. At least we got to see Dixie and Diddy Kong. And Kiddy Kong. And Cranky Kong was in it. Here's the point. Cranky Kong was in the film, and you think, oh, that's okay, that's interesting, that's not the most iconic character. And then there's a bit where DK's there, and he calls him Dad or something, and it's like, hang on a second, hang on a cotton-picking minute. Isn't Cranky Kong the original Donkey Kong? Isn't that what everyone always says? The original Donkey Kong in the arcade game? Then he got older and became Cranky Kong, and then the new Donkey Kong is his son, Donkey Kong Jr., right? Like at the beginning of Donkey Kong Country, it's hard to say that quickly, Donkey Kong, at the beginning of Donkey Kong Country, along comes Cranky, and then DK like swings by, and he's like the new one. It's, you know, Cranky's the original. Never mind that though. Maybe DK obviously can say, "Oh, hello, father," and he doesn't actually contradict that. I just think it's almost like they're near to contradicting it, but they didn't quite. So yeah, I'll let them off this once for that. Okay. Now, what else? What else is there? How about the fact that? I don't know, you know, the film is predictable. What about that? Well, okay, what do you expect? It's not going to be the most life-changing thing, but it's just like, you know, Mario and Donkey Kong end up in the eel. There's a brief moment where you think, oh, here we go. It's like Mario gets bullied early on, and, you know, then he's going to sort of have to prove he's the hero. It's very standard stuff, but it doesn't, not only does it not do anything beyond that, but it doesn't even really do that very well. You know, there's hardly any development. Mario's just kind of wandering around, and then suddenly he's really good. And there's one bit where he's sort of trying to do the level. That was quite good. I like that bit where he's sort of doing the level over and over again. I like the fact that time was passing in the background. They've never done that in the game. Have a level where the sort of time of day is passing throughout the day. I mean, they have levels set at night and stuff, but you know, like in Donkey Kong Country 2, World 1-3, there's stage 1-3, the sunset, it starts off at sort of noon, and the sun slowly sets. I love that level, because, like, time is gradually passing. I just love that. It's really nice, and it's infinitely more than the Mario series has ever accomplished. No, but I mean, come on, the 2D Mario games are not that great, are they? Super Mario Land 2 is the best one, I think. I beat that a few days ago, and it's actually creative for once. Got odd little enemies, you know, Halloween Zone, Macro Zone, none of that in this film. But I didn't expect it, you know, but I'm just saying, of course, I'm just saying. So there you go. It was nice when they were sort of driving around, you know, that's kind of what you expect. Sort of spiny shell. I mean, you did think the Koopa became a sort of spiny shell. Oh, sorry. Became a blue shell. That's what I'm supposed to say, isn't it? Became a blue shell. That's the law, yes. Became a spiny shell, and it went to blow up Mario, and you just think, well, why didn't it do that earlier and destroy the road? You know, they're on Rainbow Road. There's a bit where they're on Rainbow Road and Mario and Peach are just sort of chatting and you think, look where you're driving! You're on Rainbow Road, twisty, turny, you're going to fall off and die. And they don't look, they just look at the road. I guess it's just straight for flipping 20 minutes, but seriously, absurd. Not teaching good lessons to children, thank you very much. And they don't even, no, but seriously, they don't look at where they're driving. That really distracted me, okay? And then, it's not just that, but it's Rainbow Road, so it's supposed to be all twisty-turny. You know, there's no flipping barriers. They're all just suddenly driving. They just sort of said, oh, let's go there, and they're all driving. But, you know, whatever, it's a fun film, isn't it? I don't mind that. No Lakitu. They're just falling to their deaths. This film just, like, arbitrarily decides what bits to take from the games and what bits to just sort of say, oh, we're not going to put Lakitu in because that would destroy the tension. Okay, fine, very well, very well. But, you know, it would have been nice to see Lakitu somewhere, like all of them. But yes, why didn't the flipping Cooper turn into the spiny shell earlier, you know? That would have made sense. It's like when the spider teleports that guy away in Planet of the Spiders Part 2. Anyway, sorry, getting into obscure references, I suppose. And then Peach just drives back to the Mushroom Kingdom just easily because, okay, you know, they platform all the way there and she just drives back, whatever. And then, oh, I'll tell you what, when they were picking what cars to make, it did the item selection sound. That was a nice little bit. No actual items on the road, but okay. Oh, but you know what though? They're picking what cars to do. Like, you know, Mario picks like the tyre and the cart and the gliders. Although they haven't even used the gliders, really. There's one bit where Donkey Kong does. And then, but what do they pick? Only the most standard ones. Mario just picks standard carts, standard tyres. So does Peach for the bike. Toad does like, though, it's an obvious joke, he picks a bigger thing. Like, oh, so hilarious, how highly humorous, honestly. So, it wasn't very good. Why even have the custom things? They were just going to pick the standard stuff. Oh, because it's iconic. Oh, of course, it's iconic. Of course. That explains it. So anyway, you know, look, it's okay. I just think it's one of those things where it's just, I'm obviously going to say, what was the point? But it's not too bad. At least we had Luigi sort of going, Mario! When he like falls down and stuff, like in Luigi's Mansion. Almost like that. Almost as good. I'll tell you what the best bit in the film was, obviously, without a doubt. I think we can all agree, the soundtrack. Okay? Who did it? I don't know. But they did a magnificent job. I'd probably look it up. Anyway, it wasn't, you know, flipping good old Koji Kondo, you know. Brian Taylor, apparently. Tyler, sorry, not Taylor. Brian Tyler, well, he did a good job because lots of little quotes from the games, you know, da-da-da-da-da-da from the Underground theme. Bob on Battlefield was in there, Super Mario Bros. 3. Very nice job, honestly. I congratulate the man. Except for one thing. I'm just kidding. Well, no, it was okay. Except it did play the victory theme a lot, you know. That theme, you know, when you finish a level in Super Mario Bros. Okay, I mean, it plays in the opening logo for Nintendo, and you think, if they ever do any other films, are they going to use that? Like, for a Zelda film? Okay, no. No, but okay, it plays there, and then it plays like 3 other times, and it's not that bad, but it's like, there are other victory themes out there, they don't have to just play that one, so that was a bit repetitive, but okay, I did think, you know, some of the music could have been a bit more. There was one bit I noticed with like a solo clarinet. I can't even remember what it played. Maybe when Luigi was sort of staring out of the cage or something. There was like a little solo clarinet that I thought was quite nice. You know. Oh, I'll tell you what. Flipping the wedding theme when the Peach is going to get married. Who composed that? Felix Mendelssohn. So, great composers are in this. Although, speaking of the music, like all things in the film, it was kind of good and kind of rubbish. Because it just went to songs. Suddenly there was some ridiculous pop song playing and it was just like, what the hell is this? This isn't like any of the games. It's just like, we're making a film, so we've got to do all this, like, get these famous voice actors in and, you know, not even famous voice actors, just random famous actors, and they don't fit the characters, really. And redesign the characters just because it's a film, you know, and put these songs in. Why? Seriously, it's just rubbish. If they genuinely replaced those songs with sort of some other game music, I would have way preferred it, definitely. Without a doubt, I definitely would have preferred it if they hadn't done the songs. That is a genuine complaint right there. They shouldn't have done the songs. It's because I try to appeal to like a mass audience, I guess, or whatever. Yeah, mass audience. I can think of it in America. That would be pretty massive. I don't know. What am I saying? God. So they did the songs. The character redesigns. Well, why did they even do them? Oh, because it's a film. Why? What? Because it's easier to animate. I don't get it. Like, Mario's looks the same in all the 3D games, pretty much. I mean, not always the same, but, pretty consistent character model, across, like, Sunshine, Galaxy, even Luigi's Mansion, all the Mario parties, on the GameCube onwards, at least. It looks pretty similar. Even into Super Mario Odyssey, it's pretty good, he looks great. And then here, it's like, his moustache is a lighter shade of brown. And it's just redesigned. I don't even know. I'm not like a master of design, but they just look a bit off. Like Mario looks a bit off. Peach, her eyes are too wide. Seriously, she looks totally different to how she looks in all the games. I know it's because they're trying to make the characters more expressive for the film and stuff, but I don't like it. Why? Because it was pointless for one. Like, they've got great designs already, so that was annoying. And it just kind of feels like this is like the film versions. It's just unnecessary. And I honestly don't think some of them look as good. Donkey Kong was redesigned. Tried to be like his original design from the arcade game. And it's just rubbish. And same for Bowser. He looks so sort of off. He doesn't look really bad, but it almost looks like someone sort of drawing Bowser, but not quite getting him right. I mean, it looked okay in the opening, and then when I sort of saw him in the next scene in, like, the castle a bit later on, he just looked so sort of off. It just looked a bit wrong. I don't know. Like, the body, like, the proportions, the physiognomy, didn't look very good. So, but that's, again, this is just the critiques of a sad, lonely fan. Anyway, there's a bit where, Mario ate like a little blue mushroom, to shrink himself, mini mushroom. I mean, he eats it and shrinks, and his voice gets all high-pitched. And then Bowser did it later, and his voice didn't. Oh, I mean, it kind of did, but from his perspective, it didn't. Okay, I'll give you that. But, okay, they say, get a mushroom, fine. You get hit, you lose the mushroom. That's how it works. I mean, they don't do the obvious thing like in the games, where you sort of just barely scrape by an enemy and you get hit, It's always annoying in a Mario game. When you just, like, touch an enemy and you die. And it's just like, well, excuse me, what, did it bite me? Like, if you just, like, touch... It's like in a Sonic game or something, that can happen. Like, if you just touch something. But in Sonic, at least you get driven rings. You don't generally die instantly, unless, obviously, you've got no rings. And that's why Sonic is better in 2D, and Mario is better in 3D. That's how it works. Sonic's 2D games are way better because of that, for one. And also, they're better. Seriously. Honestly, genuinely, Sonic 2... masterpiece. Sonic 3 Knuckles, pretty good. Mania, not as good as either of those two, but it's good. Sonic Sprite was too bright blue, honestly. I know you might say, oh, you're really nitpicking now. Well, okay. How about the fact that the act transitions all looked really bad? And I'm not talking about the cutscenes, I'm talking about the fact that every time it said Act 1 or Act 2 or whatever, it sort of flashed on the screen, and like the first few frames, it kind of disappeared, and then a new one appeared. Distracted me every time, broke the immersion. I just felt, what's going on here? Come on, T-lopes. Anyway, so basically, yes. Well, when I talk about Super Mario Bros, yes, so he gets hit the blue mushroom, mini mushroom, and then shrinks, gets hit by Donkey Kong, right? And then reverts to normal size. If you get hit as your mini mushroom, when you're shrunk in the games, you just die, you don't revert. So that was a bit inaccurate, I thought. But I guess it's a film, it's making up its own rules, okay. You have sort of Kamek instead of Kammy Cooper, okay. I mean, Kamek is just a regular enemy in the PAL region anyway. Not Magic Cooper. Kamek is sort of interchangeable, but apparently Kamek is now Bowser's number one minion, number one fan. Can't wait to lop his legs off. But, no Kammy Cooper, so that was a bit disappointing. I mean, really, is that too far? I know Miyamoto hates doing anything that isn't Toads and all the standard stuff, but come on, where were the Wigglers? There weren't any Wigglers, were there? Maybe one somewhere, I didn't really notice. There were those little enemies from, like, New Super Mario Bros, the little sort of vine, steppy enemies, I don't know what they're called, but those guys. That was nice, at least. But yes, so what else have we got to say? I mean, there was a bit where Bowser was playing the piano, and he sort of reaches for a lower note, and we hear a higher note. If you're gonna just muck about. Seriously, don't bother. Why animate him playing the piano if he goes to press a lower note and we hear a higher one? I mean, I'm not expecting necessarily for it to be animated exactly for note, although it should be, really, come on. They could do that, couldn't they? But fine, maybe they animated that scene, like, separately to the soundtrack, okay? I get it, but then why didn't the composer have a bit of note music that went down at that point? Seriously, it was so distracting. It's just, he reaches for like, I can't remember, like C and then goes for A or something, and then instead we hear it go da-da, and it's just like, excuse me? It's supposed to go down a minor third, not up a major fourth. Major fourth, you moron, perfect fourth. What kind of flippin' music theorist do you take me for? Anyway, I'm getting a bit sidetracked here. But yeah, seriously, he played a note that was lower and it went higher, so just another criticism. But anyway, it's an okay film. I don't know. I mean, it's not as good as Sonic 2, I think. That was a bit more fun as a film, live action, whatever. Robotnik is great in that, come on. Obviously, nowhere near as good as Professor Layton and the Eternal Diva, but nothing is. Nothing in the world is, frankly. Well, no video game film will ever surpass that, I guess. Come on. I tell you what I liked. Mario and Luigi sort of swung Bowser by the tail right near the end. I was waiting. I was sitting there just thinking, come on, that's what they're going to do, isn't it? And then for some reason they got the stars before they did it, even though you don't need a star to do that. Mario and Luigi both jump into a star and they both get it. Oh, okay. I guess it fits with the whole theme of the Mario Bros. Brothers. But, that's not how it works. Where's the scientific accuracy? The photoelectric effect, where you get, like, a photon comes down and excites a certain electron if it's a high enough wavelength. It's a one-to-one process. You can't have two photons that get one electron. Either the photon excites the electron or it doesn't, okay? Whereas, that's how it works for stars. But in this film, no. One star, two people, they both become invincible. Well, I'll tell you what could have happened. I just realised maybe Mario or Luigi got it, then he sort of picked the other one up and they were both invincible. That's how it works in New Super Mario Bros. Wii, and you, and New Super Luigi U, and Super Mario 3D World. Okay, fine. Okay, maybe they touched each other and both got the star. I will concede that one. But still, it was a bit stupid because it looks like they both pick it up and then they both have it. So they should have had Mario becomes invincible, or better yet, Luigi becomes invincible. He touches his brother, appropriately, of course, and there you go. That's it. They're invincible. And then they run around bashing the enemies. Normally you just touch the enemies and they die, but okay, just the same as the fact they touch them and don't get hurt in this film. Okay, fine, whatever. And, kill Bowser, there you go, it's okay. So, it's a good film. I'm just saying these are all my very quick thoughts. Of course, my immediate instinct is to start nitpicking all these critiques. But obviously, come on, I liked it as a fun film. I'd probably give it like a 7 out of 10 or a 6.5. 6.5. I mean, I liked it. Obviously, I love the games more. But it's okay. It's a fun time. It's a laugh in it. It's just, inevitably, and if I watch it any time, it's going to be like, every few minutes, there's just some little bit they get wrong, and you retch in pain. There's a bit where Mario he goes through the warp pipes early on, well, when he's in the Mushroom Kingdom, and you think, oh, that's nice, like a little level. He's like, going in a pipe, coming out of another one, going in one, and it's quite fun. And then it zooms out, and he's like, oh boy, and it's quite funny. And you think now he's going to have to get up there. And then he's just there. And it's like, what happened? It's like the film isn't really confident enough to have, and it doesn't have any moments of real silence. I mean, obviously, I don't expect a sort of big philosophical musing on, the meaning of life or something, but at least have some kind of bits where there's not much, room for actual platforming or stuff. He's just kind of, he just says that, and then he's there, and it's like, well, how did he get there? It's like they just skip bits because they're not as interesting. But okay, there you go. So it's okay. I mean, it's not as good as the Super Mario Bros. Super Show. Maybe. I don't know. It's okay. It's a nice film. I recommend it, I guess, once. I think I prefer the old Pokemon Heroes Latios and Latias film, or the other way around. That was a better film. I'll tell you what was the flipping Secrets of the Jungle. God, that was dull. Well, it wasn't very good, that Pokemon film. If we're doing all the flipping video game films. Silent Hill, I've never actually watched it, but I'll tell you what, it was probably better. I mean, Silent Hill, the film, well, Soundtrack was good. I like the soundtrack because it was all from the games. And actually done by Akira Yamamoto, or whatever it's called. But yes, look, the Super Mario Bros. Movie, okay, it's good-ish. The big criticism is people will say it relies on sort of, Easter eggs and stuff too much. Obviously, it's trying to appeal to the fans, but the problem is it's got so many inaccuracies from the game, so many arbitrary decisions that ignore parts from the games, bits that don't really line up with what they do in the games, so it can't truly appeal to fans who really care about all the nitty-gritty details of the games. And for people who don't really play the games, it's got sort of lots of bits that just sort of you think, oh, that's a bit from the game, and it wouldn't really work by itself. You wouldn't make this as a film. It couldn't be a film first, You wouldn't have a character do all this stuff. There's no real structure. There's a bit of an attempt, but it just kind of meanders around a lot and doesn't really build up particularly, So, it's okay, actually. And there you go, that's my thoughts on it, which I'm sure you were dying to know. And as for the other one, Let's Play, that I obviously was promising at the end of the Sonic the Hedgehog 8-bit one, because I had the little theme play at the end, which I'm sure you noticed, you picked up on. Yeah, I'll do that one day. I did record part 1, and then I sort of got a bit sidetracked. Anyway, so hope you enjoyed my ramblings. I bet you love listening to all that. I hope you didn't just stop listening to it after the first few seconds. And, yeah, lovely if I got a comment one day from someone. Oh, well, just kidding. It's never going to happen. Anyway, thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you next time. Ta-ra!